They may have been unpredictable, but it's hardly unusual. Malta has survived a lot of storms in its past, both from Mother Nature and from human nature. My colleague Bob Simon has been roaming around the island for the last week, and he sent us not by Maltese Falcon, but by satellite this afternoon, this special story.
Malta is a tiny point in the sea, a tiny speck, but it has so much history.
There is light stone, dark hair, and green buses. But there are no more falcons on Malta. That regal bird, the Maltese falcon, is one more memory on an island paved with them.
During the war, I was a gunner. I was a gunner. How I am still in one piece, only God knows.
Malta is a survivor of sieges. That's its history, in a phrase. During the Second World War, the Nazis unloaded more bombs on Malta than had ever been dropped on any country before. And it went on for 2.5 years.
There was a time, I think, that we only had about a week to go. And in the morning, we had half a biscuit, half a dog biscuit. For lunch, we had the luxury of 2 sardines with no bread. And in the evening, we had a mug of tea.
This is Malta's national anthem. But Malta's national obsession is its litany of invaders and conquerors. Carthaginians, Spaniards, even the Doges of Venice.
Anyone who ever aspired to mastery of the Mediterranean ended up occupying Malta, from the Phoenicians and the Romans to the British and the French. But the guys who left the most indelible mark were the Knights of Malta, or as they were called when they dropped by in the 16th century, the Sovereign Military Order of the Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem, of Rhodes, and of Malta, the world's oldest order of chivalry.
They were quite promiscuous in their way.
Really?
Yes.
And what is your full name?
Title and all?
Mm-hmm.
I find it rather difficult, to tell you, because I've never pronounced it. But I'll tell you. Chevalier. The most noble Baron de Piro d'Amico Iguales. Officially.
That's a long name for a short island. The Baron of Badoc's family tree was planted in the 16th century.
In days gone by, I mean in 1600, 1700, a nobleman meant something, a title in Europe, meant something.
Napoleon put a stop to that. Then the British put a stop to Napoleon. They stayed 1.5 centuries. And then history walked out on Malta like a bored lover, and the island virtually disappeared from the map.
Saturday lunchtime, 12 o'clock. Everything shuts down until Monday morning. They believe in a long weekend here.
The once imperial British now come on packages and turn pink in the midday sun. 8 days, breakfast included.
This week, we have the summit conference of Gorbachev and Bush.
Give me. Fine, thank you very much.
We need answers from the White House.
It's likely, it's not a definite. It's always that way with the Russians.
I think I'll probably never come back again, except
2,500 journalists managed to find their way to Malta.
I won't say that I'm jumping for joy simply because the leaders of the 2 superpowers are coming over to this island.
Malta is a limestone set for this superpower premiere, but Charles Flores, broadcaster and poet, begs to point out that the backdrop is in fact a real place with real people.
As far as scenery is concerned, I'm sure you've seen better elsewhere, and I've seen better elsewhere.
How long is the island?
It's 17 miles.
17 miles long, and you say there are different regions?
Yes, and different accents. You must understand that there's a distinct Maltese language.
It's a combination of Arabic and Italian with smatterings of French, sort of the Yiddish of the Mediterranean. A large proportion of the country's population filled its main square this week, a demonstration. Anti-nuclear, pro-summit, nope, higher wages. Life goes on.
A few personal questions, Baron. Were you born in this house?
No, no. I was born in another house in the village of Attard. It had 34 rooms, salons enormous, an ancestral home with a family of 5. We managed, and of course, domestic service. You know, 5 or 6 servants, and the man for the door.
The next Maltese nobility, bankers and businessmen, see the summit as a tugboat pulling them towards Europe and prosperity. Malta may be anchored little more than 100 miles from Africa, but the movers and shakers here do not like the A word.
What kind of reaction have you gotten over the years when people asked you where you're from and you said you're from Malta?
They were astonished that I didn't look like a North African terrorist.
And the conventional wisdom is that the summit will put Malta someplace it hasn't been in a long time.
Placed on the map.
To get us on the map, we're going to be, I have to move. Sorry.
The Almighty God has also always chosen for very big things in this world, the tiniest spots, and Malta's like that.
Vast ideas come to this island on days like this. St. Paul brought Christianity here when he was shipwrecked in a raging storm.
The Almighty in his plan and the Virgin Mother of God, they've chosen this country because big things are going to happen in the world. And the 2 biggest folks out here.
Bob Simon, CBS News, Malta.